Picture yourself an average person, an average middle-aged Joe, a law-abiding citizen, an average person. What is one habit that most of the peasants in the world have become common? One which they rush for in the morning, and they do this multiple times a day, and they depend on it for energy and extra stimulation. Caffeine. 90% of the world's population drinks caffeine. Caffeine is a type of instant gratification, and you've been lied to on how caffeine is good for you. Caffeine is not good for you. If you want to get better than the rest of the population, the average Joes, then you mustn't do what the average Joes are doing. Because by following average advice, average habits, what can you expect of yourself other than to become average? If you are fine with being average, click off this video. This is not for you, and self-improvement is not for you. Self-improvement is not for those who want to be average. Let me tell you my story about caffeine. When I was in my sleep deprivation phase due to instant gratification, I was getting 4, 5, 6 hours of sleep. When I first discovered caffeine, my first caffeine was this Monster, this small energy drink, and I was playing video games, and I was like sipping it, and it gave me energy, of course. That boost of energy and stimulation from caffeine, the energy goes whoop, and I enjoyed it, and I started to have more and more of these energy drinks, and soon I discovered coffee. And because my family has a coffee machine, I was able to have it nearly every day. Everything was fine, everything was cool. I was stimulated, caffeinated, up until I slowly started losing that effect of caffeine. I noticed how that same amount of coffee didn't get me the energy level I wanted. It kind of struck me how I stopped seeing the benefits of caffeine after a couple of days of use. And that's when I really started searching up quitting caffeine. Is caffeine good for you? And I ended up started moderating myself, because before I was just drinking caffeine whenever I wanted, however I wanted, how much I wanted, and just being reckless. And I believe most people don't have any control over the caffeine usage, because most people believe the caffeine is good for them. And if you're watching this video, you're not like most people. You're better than them. It's the truth. Because how many other people, how much percent of the population do you think are watching videos on self-help and actually take action consistently? Not just take the action when they're motivated, but go on. So, as I was saying, you're better than me. And I started limiting my caffeine usage once a week when I was sleep deprived, when I was having a quiz and whatever. And I found that a lot more enjoyable. I started getting that, losing my tolerance to caffeine. That same amount of caffeine started to stimulate me. and I was surprised how my energy levels actually dipped higher than they were when I was drinking caffeine. Because for those of you who don't already know, caffeine works like this. This is your baseline energy level before you ever touch caffeine. You have like this healthy amount of energy. When you first start drinking caffeine, every time you drink it, a few hours after, your energy levels jump up. You feel like all the benefits of caffeine, focus, energy. What else is there? But then a few hours later, after that caffeine leaves your system, your energy levels actually dip below it. So let's say they were before like this originally, they went up like this, and now they're like this. And now this happens continuously, up, down, up, down, up, down. And what starts to happen is you stop losing that up. So now it goes as. And the thing is, because you're drinking caffeine so much on a regular basis, how it works is your baseline, even when you're caffeinated, whereas before it used to be like this, now it's like this. So even though you're drinking coffee, 2, 3, 4 cups a day of strong coffee, your energy level is like this. If you're constantly tired, it's because you're so used to the caffeine, you just need it to get through the day. And this becomes really scary because now you're in a worse place than you started. So originally you started using caffeine to relieve self sleep deprivation. Now you feel even more tired, which is not helping your sleep deprivation. Of course, the best solution is sleep, improving your sleep. One of the huge reasons for why your caffeine usage, you're so tempted to use caffeine, is how if you're sleep deprived, it's a great like reliever. So let's say you get a bad night of sleep, you get 5 hours of sleep, you drink, when you have no tolerance and you drink a cup of coffee, you start feeling like you got 7, 8 hours of sleep and you feel totally not fine. And that's how easy it is. It becomes super easy to start depending on caffeine while you're sleep deprived. So back to the topic. Once you quit caffeine, stop drinking it recklessly, your tolerance goes down, you lose it, and your energy levels go like this. Now what's going to happen when you quit caffeine is withdrawal. Withdrawal is the period of time after you quit caffeine in which your body is unused to not having caffeine because you've had that so often. So you start experiencing symptoms of your body being not used to not having caffeine. So for example, some of the symptoms include increased anxiety, insomnia, decreased energy, fatigue, increased anxiety. All of those symptoms come from caffeine withdrawal. And this is hard, and it could last for at least 2 weeks, depending on how much the caffeine tolerance was at. And what happens is, you know how because of how you've been drinking caffeine so much, originally before it started it was like this, now your energy baseline is like this, even with caffeine. And when you quit caffeine, your energy levels will go even lower to here. But that's the thing, they won't stay like this for long. So you quit caffeine, your energy levels dip down. And in this period of withdrawal, your body learns to get used to like not being caffeinated all the time. So you start not needing caffeine and you start getting back, and eventually after a couple of weeks you'll get back to the level before you started having caffeine, and you will be caffeine free. Caffeine free is very nice. Now I'm going to tell you for a trap to watch out for. For a year I've been drinking I've been drinking caffeine in moderation. I would have one energy drink a week or one cup of coffee a week. Usually when I was sleep deprived or when I had a quiz in school or a test in school and I needed it. I didn't really need it. But anyway, that's how I had thought was the correct way to have caffeine in moderation. Obviously, that's better than being reckless and having however much caffeine you want every day. But there's still a problem with that. And I didn't realize this up until only 2 months ago. Caffeine have consumption weekly is still bad for you because to a certain level you still have a bit of tolerance. Doing something bad one time a week, every week, knowing, willingly, is still bad for you. That's like saying, "Oh, I only vape once a week." It's still bad for you. And once I got rid of this weekly cup of coffee, I experienced more of the benefits of quitting caffeine because now I am completely caffeine free. And this last cup of coffee a week is one of the hardest to quit because it's like so easy to not quit and like it's so easy to cope and say it's only one, it doesn't hurt. It does. If you want to get better, then you must do it. I want you to take action on this. I don't want you to just be watching videos and not take action. Because if you watch this all the way through and you're listening to me and I'm telling you to take action, but you are sitting right there and you are not taking action by like telling yourself that yeah, I'm gonna quit caffeine, but you just forget about this and you still have that cup of coffee tomorrow, you still drink that energy drink, Celsius, Monster, Red Bull the next day or even today, you just completely forget about everything that I said, then honestly this was a waste of time watching this video. You have to take action. If you're not going to take action, then you might as well have clicked off this video from the beginning. Like I said, this is not for average people advice. This is for those who want to be above average.